Previously on Sherlock Holmes vs. Jack the Ripper.
I never even tried to go up here when I was looking at the lady who died.
No. But what a... how dreadful.
That's weird. Yeah, that makes sense.
Kebabs, the same as Hardiman's. So he prepares his meat here.
Did you imagine if the cat man was the one who was killing women so he could feed the women to the cats?
My word. These are innards.
Yum.
This bag contains butcher's equipment.
I don't know why, but I was really expecting to just like turn and see Hardiman standing there just beeping.
Say, I think there's some of your business upstairs. Oh, you're right. I ain't had the time to sort it out. Sometimes I'm in such a hurry to prepare my meat that I forget to clean up. But why do it in the stairwell? Offal bleeds bucket loads, they do, as you've seen. Now, why would I do that in my own lodgings? Ah, of course. But what about your poor neighbours? They owe it to me, all the times I've helped them out. And I don't have a shop either. Say, you sell animal meat, isn't that right? Would you know where I could find a dozen small pig's heads? The guy who gets me my offal should have some. I'll pay your day's wages if you meet me at Fletcher's butcher shop in 2 hours with the pig's heads. Here's a little advance. I'll do my best, Doctor. Holmes, will you explain the reason and rhyme behind this masquerade?
Elementary. We shall conduct an experiment that will allow us to answer a simple question. Does the type of weapon used by the killer correspond to a specific profession?
My question is, you asked for a dozen small pig's heads. I see 4 large pig's heads. I'm just saying.
Let's go to the wasp's nest.
Okie dokie. I want to look at my deduction. I do, I don't have anything. Okay. I want to look at my conclusions. There is one. The same butcher's knife was used in the crimes against P. Nicholas and Andy Chapman, L. Stride, C. Eddowes, and M. J. Kelly. Okay. There's no organ trafficking. That's a true statement. Okay. I wasn't expecting you to be just staring at me, Watson, but okay. Let's see, where am I? I'm at here. I need to go this way. Oh, this is where that one person was. Can I still see her? I can't tell if that's her. It's something. I don't know.
Don't forget the Bluto may still be hiding here. I will try to find out more inside. You, Watson, must intercept the policeman on his rounds. Given the hour and a bit of luck, it will be Smith. Try to get some information from him.
Understood, Holmes.
Oh boy, it's so smoky in here.
If you're looking for some company, Gov, you've come to the wrong place. Me, I'm just here to pour. I don't care who you is, I knows nothing, and I don't care neither.
A draft, my good man.
Here, sir.
Tell me, was it not a mere stone's throw away from here that the Whitechapel killer struck last week?
That'd be Jack the Ripper, that's his name. Slit the throat of a working girl in a small courtyard over there behind them big wooden doors.
Below the Workers' Club?
The very spot, below Lipsky and Co. I wouldn't be surprised if Jack was one of them, if you catch my drift.
I think it was just like, if you catch my drift, and it's like, you literally just spelt it out for me.
Lipsky and Company. Do you mean to say that someone called Lipsky runs this club?
Nah, it's just that it's full of Jews. In Whitechapel, we call them all Lipskis, like that Lipsky who killed that girl in Batty Street last year.
Oh, really?
Last year, a Jew named Israel Lipsky killed a lass who was 6 months pregnant by making her drink acid. One trial and one protest by rabbis later, and he was hanging. By those who don't much like him, the Jews are called Lipskis.
Is the term Lipskis used to refer to the Jews in the area, and is this club frequented by Jews?
You got it. Socialist Jews even. They spend their evenings hollering, singing. I've seen them spitting on the bosses.
And you know the victim?
No more her than any other. The working girls don't drum up business too much in this street. They need a reason to end up here.
Very well. Goodbye.
Cheers.
Why was that cheers so much more in my ears? That was kind of not what I wanted.
Hello.
I know you. You're Squibby's guardian angel. You weren't dressed the same last time, but I don't forget a face. No hard feelings, huh? Join me in a glass?
Your Jack the Ripper is on everyone's lips and written in all of the papers. You must be awfully proud of yourself. You have skill, that's for certain. It's a shame you use it to mask rather than discover the truth.
You better believe that I'm going to find out who it is. I got a hold of old Schwartz's interpreter. You know, the Hungarian who saw Liz Stride get it. Doesn't speak a word of English. And when he went round to the station, another Jew went along to interpret. I found that bloke, and he repeated everything that had been said at the station. It won't be long before I find these fellows.
Why do you say these fellows? Were there several of them?
Do you not read the papers, or what? Well, given the rubbish that you read sometimes. Let me explain. At 12:45 a.m., Schwartz goes down Burner Street towards Fairclough, on the side of the road where the Workers' Club is. A bit further from there, just near Dutfield Yard's wooden doors, a chap and a lady are arguing. The Star said that the bloke wanted to push the girl into Dutfield's yard, but the translator told me that Schwartz saw him pulling her towards the road. She doesn't want to follow. He grabs her by the shoulders and throws her to the ground. She falls a bit, but not too loudly. Old Schwartz is scared, crosses to the other side, but continues in the same direction. The bloke with the girl notices him and yells, "Lipsky!" At the same time, another bloke at the corner of Fairclough and Burner who was lighting his pipe gets in on the action. He starts coming towards Schwartz in a menacing way, and Schwartz takes to his heels, doesn't see anything else. Once he finds out that a woman got herself killed, he went to testify and identified Long Liz Stride as the woman he saw getting thrown about. So there were definitely two blokes, mate. But why am I telling you all this?
In vino veritas.
What?
I'll take my leave then, Mr. Bulling.
That's right. Till next time.
First and foremost, I must find P.C. Smith.
Is that you?
Good evening, Constable.
Good evening, sir.
I am Dr. Watson. Would you happen to be P.C. Smith, the man who patrols this beat?
That's me. And you work with the famous Sherlock Holmes, don't you? What can I do for you?
I believe you were on duty the night when the murder took place here. You would certainly be able to confirm a few details, such as the time of death that the medical examiner gave.
It's just that I wasn't there when the body was discovered. I don't think I can help you.
But I was told that you had seen the victim that very night.
Indeed. But it was before the murder. I saw
That's
her,
funny.
not far from here. She was talking to a man. It was around 12:30 or 12:35 a.m.
What did this man look like?
I only saw him from behind, really. He was wearing a short black outfit, a small felt hat like a cap in a dark colour, and a white collar. He seemed to be a respectable type. He was carrying a package in his hand wrapped in newspaper, about 18 inches long and about 6 inches wide.
His outfit reminds me of someone that I know. Was he a large man, on the older side?
I don't think so, no. Even though I only saw him from behind, I would say that he was barely 30 years old, or even less, say 28, or even less, 26 years old, and 5 foot 8 inches tall at the very most. He had a small dark brown moustache and an olive complexion, I would say, But once again, I only caught a brief glimpse of his face in three-quarter profile.
I was about to be like, you only saw him from behind. How do you know he had a mustache?
Nobody else saw this man?
I discussed this previously with Mr. Eagle, the president of the Workers' Club. That night he returned around 12:40 a.m. to the club. He used the passage through Dutfield's yard to get into the club because the main door was locked. He can attest that he didn't see anyone else in the passage at that time, but wasn't really paying attention to who else might have been in Burner Street itself. He was listening to the song coming from the club. In short, no one else saw him.
Well, thank you for having satisfied my curiosity, my friend.
A fine evening to you, Doctor.
Come on. I was like,
Well,
hurry
Watson, let's go to Dutfield's yard.
up. Okay. Where was that again? Is that on my map? No. I'm not 100% sure where Dutfield is.
Dutfield's yard.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if that was what that was called. Oh, okay, yes. Can you stop making so much noise, Watson? Oh. Hello!
Your interrogation of P.C. Smith has proven to be very shrewd and of great interest. Thanks to the information I've managed to gather and that you were able to read in my notes in Baker Street, Watson, we can recreate what happened that fateful night at this location, Dutfield's Yards to be precise, the site of Liz Stride's murder.
Alright. So, midnight. Club meeting ends.
Midnight, the Socialist Club meeting ends. The members, mainly Jewish men, gradually begin to leave the club in little groups or alone.
At 12:20, the American goes out for some air. No one is in the street. This is at 20.
12:20 a.m., the American leaves the Socialists Club for some fresh air. The street is deserted.
12:30 to 35, P.C. Smith sees Liz.
12:30 to 12:35 a.m., Smith notices Liz Stride talking to the man with the package.
At 40, Mr. Eagle, the president of the Workers' Club, enters the club via the passage.
12:40 a.m., Eagle, the president of the club, enters the Workers' Club via the passageway through Dutfield's yard. He passed through Dutfield's yard. If Liz Stride had already been killed, he would have had to walk over her. The murder, therefore, had not yet happened.
At 43, Israel Schwartz passes by and witnesses the attack.
12:43 a.m., Israel Schwartz passes by Dutfield's yard and witnesses the attack on Liz Stride.
At 44, he changes sidewalk and runs away because the guy tries to cause a scene.
12:44 a.m., Schwartz crosses to the other side of the road. The attacker sees him and yells, "Lipsky." The attacker must have shouted to his accomplice at the end of the road, "Lipsky," indicating at Schwartz using his head in an attempt to scare off this undesirable.
Makes sense. Then at 45, he ran away.
12:45 a.m., Schwartz runs away, followed for a short distance by this man.
Then at 1, he wants to enter with his cart pulled by a pony.
1 a.m., Mr. Diemschutz wants to enter with his cart, but the pony refuses. We know that the murder took place between 12:45 and 1 a.m. Mr. Diemschutz, therefore, must have disturbed the killer. Let's place Liz Stride's murder on the timeline, Watson.
Meanwhile, my question is, why does this timeline go all the way to 145 when I needed to go to 1? I could have so much more space placing these. I'm gonna say between 4 to 5. Well,
12:45 to 1 a.m., the murder of Lestrade. It took place in this very spot, as the traces of blood were very confined. We will come back to this point in a few moments to elaborate on what could have happened. Well, we are still missing certain information in order to finish this investigation, Watson. Watson, imagine the victim laid down there on the ground.
Okay. Oh, I forgot to click that.
Her right hand, it is bloody, as is her wrist.
Okay. I don't know why you put that up here, but okay. Let me look at more shit. Why are you making me go to that now?
Her left hand, it is closed around a bag of pastils. The throat, there is but one clean cut, slightly slanted downwards.
I don't know.
Her knees and dress, they are clean.
I can't even see her knees, but okay. Anything else? Want to talk about her,
Her left hand,
okay.
it is...
No, anything else?
The ground is muddy.
Okay. There we go. Whoopsie. Oh, damn, okay. And then there's that. Is there... Let me go to... I'll just go ahead and put these in here. Let's see, so the knees at the bottom of the dress in the front are clean, which means that the victim did not struggle. And was either killed upright or was laying down, but the point is that she never flipped over onto her front side when she was on the ground. That's the point. Let's see, the wound is clean, starting from the right and going down slightly. The blow was given to the middle of the neck. Yeah, that's not right. I mean, I could see, let's see, because it was her right, so it'd be one of these probably. Habam, habam, because I don't think, I mean, it depends on which way your hand is, because you could lefty it. I don't know. I'm gonna put it with a right. Yeah, though, that's no. I'm gonna go with this one. Because, yeah, there's only one wound, and yeah, I'll go with that one, I guess. I guess. Let's see, the murderer is a lumberjack! The murderer is strong. Weak? Maybe a lumberjack. Oh my god. I'm gonna go with strong. I mean, going off of the shit that we knew from before, I already told you that he was strong. I'm gonna say right-handed. Oh, it's green, which means I did it right. Strong, a weak man, a strong man, or a woman. It's just like the strong, weak, or a lumberjack. I mean, a woman could still be strong. Let's go with that. Alright, I'm gonna say that she was probably killed upright. She did not have her back to the killer. The murderer was lying down. Yeah, that wouldn't make any sense going off the thing I just said. So I'm gonna go with this one. And then I'm gonna say that the killer is probably taller than her. Probably. Maybe approximately the same height. There we go. Bloody right hand and wrist. The the artery wasn't slit. Was bleeding from the nose. Had her hand cut. The victim put her hand on her throat. Yeah, probably. The knife was thin. A mezzaluna. Why would it have been a mezzaluna? Anyway, the knife blade used was thick. No. Well, it wasn't a mezzaluna, I can tell you that much. Okay, it was thin.
We have two possibilities. The first is that Liz Stride's killer and the attacker, seen by Schwartz, were one and the same man. The second is that Liz Stride meets a client. After some discussion, they head towards Dutfield's yard to do their business. As soon as they arrive, the attacker appears while his accomplice keeps watch. Schwartz's arrival dissuades the two men from lingering. They leave the area and leave Liz Stride in a tense state, but glad to have kept her client. He will be her murderer. Both hypotheses are possible, but an incongruous detail will serve to corroborate one of them. An incongruous detail that we were able to establish regarding the Hanbury Street murder. Which one would that be, Watson? Look at the victim carefully, Watson, and tell me the link between the murder of Liz Stride and those of Nichols and Chapman.
Okay.
No, that's not it.
Thanks. I was just gonna say that the throat slice was similar to that one experiment that I did. Whoopsie.
No, that's not it.
Oh, is it these
The
things?
bag of pastels,
There we
Holmes.
go. There's like, there's three main things here,
Indeed,
so...
Watson, if this woman had to defend herself against an attacker, why would she have held onto this bag in her hand? It didn't fall because this woman's hand tensed at the moment when she fell to the ground. Therefore, Watson, we know the killer distracted his victim's attention by making them take something out of their pockets. Why didn't he slit her throat like the others? He must have feared a struggle with this strong-willed woman. Why didn't he eviscerate her? Because Louis Diemschutz arrived.
Do you think the Whitechapel killer is behind this murder, Holmes?
Yes, and now this murder has been linked to its rightful perpetrator, it will take on deeper meaning when we have examined the facts from that night. Let's go to Mitre Square, where Catherine Eddowes was killed. And make haste, Watson, as we have another murder to commit in 40 minutes.
What? That sounds really weird.
Here we are, Watson, Mitre Square. It took us a mere 20 minutes to get here. If the killer left Dutfield's yard around 1 o'clock, as we assume, he would have arrived here at around 1:20 a.m. We know that Catherine Eddowes' body was discovered at 1:44 a.m. Catherine was released from prison around 1 o'clock, but we have no information as to what she could have been doing until her death. This place has 3 possible ways out. Let's see where they lead.
Okay.
As a precaution, I brought an old map of the area with me. It will help us get our bearings.
Let's hurry,
Okay.
Holmes. This neighborhood makes me ill at ease.
That's... Oh, the synagogue. I was like, what the fuck is that word? You got some decisions got there. You got some decisions. Okay. I control Sherlock Holmes. Okay. Oh, there's a lot of stuff over there. That looked really weird. Okay, nothing else to look at besides those. Okay, let's go on over here.
Watson, we are now in the exact spot where poor Eddowes tragically ended her days.
This spot is very dark, Holmes.
That is probably why our murderer chose it. I need something. Now then, we will need a lantern. Take the lantern, Watson.
Well, this one definitely looks more bloody. Tell you that much. So we got our buttons and our thimble.
Do these objects spread out by the victim remind us of anything, Watson?
Oh, okay. the items are meant for a woman, right? I was pretty sure that they belonged to the lady. Yeah, definitely not before the murder. The murderer is a woman. I feel like they just belong to the victim. What? What? Yeah. Those first two, though, just... These items were meant for a woman. I think they belong to the victim, and therefore she's a transvestite. What? I don't know how they get these conclusions. They just don't make no sense.
The inside of the thighs is clean. Once again, there were no sexual relations between the victim and her murderer. A thimble is located right beside one of the victim's hands, just like Chapman's sachet of pills and Stride's pastils.
So one could assume that maybe he asked her to grab some shit out of her pocket, just like with the other lady, but instead of her splapping her and her hand kept clenched around it, she kind of dropped it. I mean, those wouldn't have just fallen in such a nice even line, but I mean, that one makes more sense. Hello? I clicked button.
The main
There we
incision
go.
goes from the sternum all the way down to the groin. The murderer opened this abdomen as if it were an animal carcass. A kidney was removed. The uterus was removed. The main incision goes from the... A kidney was removed. The uterus was removed. A thimble is located right...
Yeah, I got that already.
These intestines were pulled out altogether to grant access to the abdomen. The head is turned towards the left. The murderer must have been on the right side of his victim. Let's look at her from the front.
Ugh! Why did you cut her nose off? What the fuck?
The nose was cut.
Yeah, why? Why'd you cut her
The eyelids
eyes?
were cut off.
Why? God
The
damn.
cheeks were slashed to make them thinner.
Ugh. So gross.
There is but one wound, Watson. It goes from the left side and descends in a slight oblique towards the right side.
Which means this one was probably a left-handed slice. And then intestines! Yay! Can I look at her hat? No. Here? Here? What else do you want me to look at?
There is but one wound.
Yeah. What else are you trying to have me look at, mister? Mister? I don't see what else you want me to look at. I feel like
There
I've
is but one
already
wound.
looked at everything, so I don't know what you're trying to have me look at.
There is but one wound.
Yeah.
The cheeks were slashed to make them thinner.
Why?
The eyelids were cut off.
Why? That's all I can ask. Is something on the ground? Is it muddy? No? Doesn't give a shit about the floor. Okay. What do you want me to look at? I already looked at her disgusting face more times than I want to.
The eyelids were cut off.
Yeah, I got that. What? Let's see, is there anything else I needed to look at? Oh,
Part of this apron is missing. We will follow up on that shortly.
there we go.
My goodness, Holmes, it was a slaughter.
Understand, Watson, that our killer had neither the time nor the conditions to bother with the niceties. He had no more than 7 or 8 minutes at most to kill the woman, open her up, and all the while in total darkness.
Holmes, it's a woman, a poor victim you're talking about.
Consider all the time this man lost and the risks that he actually took by cutting the victim's face and the lower abdomen in around 20 precise spots, especially the lungs and the liver. These attacks, which I considered gratuitous, are in fact nothing of the sort and have as much sense as the removal of the organs. We must, first and foremost, locate the 3 exits leading to Mitre Square, Watson.
Okay. Let me go over here. And okay. And okay. And okay. Go. In. There. Okay. So the thimble was found right beside the victim's hand. Was holding it. Edo's liver and lungs underwent small incisions. The kidney and uterus were removed. The nose was cut. The cheeks were slashed, and the shit was fucked. Hates kidneys. Get rid of them. I hate kidneys. New anatomy. Yes, most definitely. Alright, the wound to the neck goes from the right to the left, which was, I don't know, it depends. It depends on how they're holding their hand. It could literally be either fucking hand. I'm gonna say it's still right-handed. The murderer was not... I mean, I guess he could have been. Did like a reach-around type of thing. The blow was fierce and instantaneous. The murderer wanted to decapitate the victim. I don't know if he wanted to decapitate her. I mean, he most definitely did a bunch of fucked up shit to her face, so who knows. I'm gonna just skip that one for a second. I'm just gonna click a button. The central incision goes from the sternum down to the groin, which connects to that one, apparently. I would say that one probably, but it could be. I don't know if that's a surgical manner or if that's animal, because I know they... Okay, I was gonna say, I know that they said that she was slaughtered, but that doesn't change the fact that she was murdered in a gruesome fashion. The murderer... I don't know if he wanted to decapitate her or not. A piece of the apron was cut, and the items were a few feet... at the victim's feet were very orderly. Likes order. Is unfeeling and organized. Yeah, probably. I think it's still a right hand. No? Oh, okay. Okay, left hand. No. Oh, I think it's just because this one's wrong still. That makes sense. I'm gonna go with that one. There we go. And then the murder is a bit short. The murderer is shorter. I would say the wound is the same kind as Elstride. I forget what hers looked like. But it's definitely not superficial. Let's see. Definitely didn't strangle her. That one? Let's see, an accomplice. No, why wouldn't an accomplice have done it? Why would, what? The murderer did not kill... Okay, that one. Thank you. Why are you... Does this curve really make me that much taller than you? I guess you're just short to begin with, Watson. I mean, that's true, I suppose. Alright, well, let's go look around at the entrances of this.
Church Passage. It must be opposite the Imperial Club at 16 to 17 Duke Street. Let's go to the end of this lane, Watson. Hello, you must be Abraham Solomonovich, am I right?
Yes, that's me. But I know you. You brought a lad to my place to take care of a cat, and I loaned you my mask.
That's me. May I present?
Dr. Watson, of course. Delighted. And you? I have known for a few days that you are a detective by the name of Sherlock Holmes. Is that so?
You don't miss a thing, do you? It was the children who gave me away, am I right?
They didn't want to, but I gained their confidence by offering them a small comb and half a cake.
They made a good deal out of it, so I don't blame them. However, I must request, as a personal favor, that you do not reveal my identity.
You have my word. Curiosity is just killing me, as you may have guessed. Would it be breaking an oath to confide in me the nature of the investigation that you are leading?
Does this spot where we are now in Mitre Square mean anything to you?
A demon lives in this city, Mr. Holmes. These unmentionable acts degrade the human race and put the Jewish community in terrible danger.
Lots of rumors are circulating, but they are but rumors. I see you're leaving the Imperial Club. It's a stone's throw away from Mitre Square, and the 2 recent murders were most probably discussed in there. Do you know if anyone from the club saw or heard anything that night?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. That night, 3 members of our club saw a woman talking to a man at the very spot where we are standing, a few minutes before the body was found at the end of this passage. Fantastic, Holmes.
Calm yourself, Watson. There is nothing at the moment to suggest it was the victim. Can we meet these members?
I am afraid that won't be possible. As soon as the police heard the evidence of these men, they were sworn to silence.
I understand.
But you are working for the good, and I must tell you what I know. One of the 3 men, my friend Joseph, left that night with 2 other members of the Imperial Club, Harry and another Joseph. It was around 1:35 a.m., perhaps a bit earlier. When Joseph, not my friend, but the other, the Aldgate butcher, exited, he saw a man and a woman in discussion at this very spot where we are.
These men must have been about 16 feet away from the couple.
That's about right. So Joseph, the butcher, said to the other 2, while pointing at the couple, "Look, I don't like going home alone when I see this kind of people here." My friend Joseph looked at them without noticing anything strange and didn't understand what he meant. They had the look of 2 rather unkempt people, but no more than that.
After the murder, did these 3 men tell the police what they had seen?
Not quite. Harry stated that he hadn't seen the couple. As for Joseph, the butcher, even though he was the one who commented on them and pointed them out, said that he couldn't remember anything except that the man was about 3 inches taller than the woman, who was 5 feet tall, no more. My friend Joseph, on the other hand, did his best to cooperate with the police.
And what did your friend Joseph say? What did this man and woman look like?
The man must have been 30 years old, about 5 foot 7 inches, light complexion, and a fair moustache. He wore a loose, dark jacket, a grey cap, and a red scarf around his neck. But he said that he only saw him for a brief instant, and it would be impossible to recognize him.
And the woman?
He only saw her from behind. She had her hand on the man's stomach and seemed to be pushing him. He said that he remembered that she was small, was wearing a black jacket and a black bonnet. After his testimony, the police took him to see the clothing of the deceased, and Joseph said that they looked identical to those of the woman he had seen. Like I already said, he only glanced at the 2, as he was headed with the others in the direction of Aldgate.
One final question. The Imperial Club is a Jewish club, isn't that correct?
Indeed.
Thank you for your help, Mr. Solomonovich.
It was nothing. We must at all cost prevent this demon from striking again, and the police seem to have some difficulty in doing that. I wish you the best of luck, Mr. Holmes.
Okay.
This building is the Great Synagogue of London. Closed.
Yeah, typically it's most likely after 11 at this particular moment.
The Imperial Club. I have no reason to go that way. This dark and narrow passage leads to St. James's Place.
Oh, look, it loaded in. I was about to be like, this alleyway is the darkest thing I've ever seen.
I have no reason to go that way.
You wanted me to look at the ways that you could leave.
This is Mitre Street, from where Watkins, the constable who found the body, came. Watson, we must now consult our timeline. We began in Dutfield's yard, but this time we will try to recreate the actions of certain people. In this case, those of the two policemen. Nothing of interest here.
I assume that I'm not
Nothing
doing
of
this.
interest here.
I wanted to double check, make sure. Okay. What are we doing, Holmes?
Let's look at our timeline, Watson.
Okay. Thought he was just gonna fucking say the same ass shit that he always does. Is this what the thing in which I'm looking at? No. I don't think so. This one? Oh wait, timeline. There it is. Ah, that's why it has me go to 45. At 1:30, he enters the square.
1:30 a.m. PC Watkins didn't see the corpse while on his rounds.
I mean, this corner was pretty
If
dark,
PC
though.
Watkins did his rounds properly, and there is no reason to doubt this was the case, as he discovered the corpse a quarter of an hour later, the murder hadn't yet taken place, and there was no one in Mitre Square, unless they were hidden among the shadows. Enter Mitre Square via Mitre Street, Watson, and stop and try to see me with the lantern. I will be where poor Edow's corpse was.
Yeah, I can't even see, though. They're so
Enter
fucking dark.
Mitre Square via Mitre Street, Watson, and stop and try to see me with the lantern. I will be where
and-
poor Edow's corpse was.
You need to use the lantern. There we go. I can definitely see it now.
I see you, Holmes.
Perfect, Watson. Let's look at our timeline, Watson.
That is a bright-ass lantern. So it had not taken place yet.
Very good, Watson. Thus we can categorically state that the murder had not yet occurred at 1:30.
Alright, and then a man and a woman are in discussion. I'll put you right there.
1:35 a.m. A man and a woman are arguing at the entrance of Church Passage. The man came from Aldgate.
Then at 42, he arrives.
1:42 a.m. PC Harvey arrives in Mitre Square. It should be noted, Watson, that the constable didn't enter Mitre Square. He could not have seen the corpse lying on the ground. But would he have been able to see a man sitting or standing? Go to the Church Passage entrance, then come back and try to see me while holding your lantern. I will stay at the spot where the victim was discovered.
Alright, so I'm going here.
I see you, Holmes.
You had to proceed into the square in order to see me, something Harvey didn't do. It is possible that the killer was still there. 1:42 a.m. PC Harvey arrives at Mitre Square, but does not go in. The murderer may well have still been there.
Potentially.
(1:44 a.m.) The body is discovered. Let's put the murder of poor Eddowes on the timeline, Watson.
Oh, there it is. I was just like, where's my icon? Here it is. So from 35 to 42. Excuse me, mouse. I would like you to stop being stupid. Mouse, stop being stupid. 35.
1:35 and 1:42 a.m. The murder would appear to have taken place between these times, that is to say, within 7 minutes.
Agreed, Holmes. But does this really prove that our killer had the time to perpetrate these two murders?
Let's look at our timeline, Watson.
Alright, it took 20 minutes for us to get there.
There, Watson. We are now certain that the murderer really had the time to commit these two murders.
Incredible. This spot is making me nauseous. Can we not head back, Holmes?
We certainly can't, Watson. We have one final point to address. Do you remember the piece of white apron that was missing just now? It was found just a few steps away from here, at the entrance of a building. That's where we must go.